23rd June 1985 and today is 23rd June 2024. 39 years that horrific tragedy of Air India flight 182 Kanishka bombing ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ ਉੜੀ ਸੀ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਜਾਣੀ ਸੀ, ਮੌਂਟਰੀਅਲ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਪਾਨ ਐਂਡ ਔਨ ਦਾ ਵੇ ਬੋmbing ਹੋਈ। ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ 329 innocent people were killed. They were victims of terrorism. And let's see the full report because people, family, friends, Canadians, everybody, they gathered today to pay the tributes to those human lives lost. 329 lives lost, including the children's. So we also pay tribute to those innocent lives, those who were the victims of terrorism. Let's see full report here, what public have to say on this.
I'm here to support all the victims and the families of this Air India bombing. So my heartily condolences to all the families and the victims of this tragic incident that happened 39 years back. So all Canadians should support this act of condolence and hate this act of terrorism.
Thank you for putting the incense and the flowers, everyone, in remembering our loved ones. I will now like to call on a minute of silence so that we can remember those 331 innocent victims that we lost 39 years ago today. So if everyone could just take a moment of silence, that would be greatly appreciated.
June 23rd marks the 39th anniversary of the terrorist bombing of Air India Flight 182 that killed 329 innocent people, including 280 Canadians and 24 Indians. Today I join the families and friends of the victims and share their deep sorrow and pain as we pay homage to the memory of those we lost 39 years ago. We salute the families for their resolute quest for justice. This barbarous act of terror was not only an attack on the passengers and the airline and the flight, but on the values of tolerance and pluralism that unites our countries. This horrific act underscores the urgent need for unified global efforts against terrorism. It is only through international cooperation that we can dismantle these networks, disrupt their funding, and counter their hateful ideologies. As was mentioned, the terrorist bombing of AI Flight 182 remains the worst terrorist attack in Canada. It is important that we stand firm against the forces that seek to sow hatred and division and fear and glorify or justify this sort of violence. Our most enduring memorial to the victims will be to rededicate ourselves to working together to fight the menace of terrorism and extremism. We join the families and friends at this difficult moment. Thank you very much.
It's difficult for the families. We go back in time and the wounds with which we have learned to live, they become alive. And it is difficult for us, for every family who has lost family members and friends on this tragedy. So it is a difficult day for us, but we remember all the victims, especially those families which were completely wiped out. And also we pray and resolve to work for prevention of similar tragedies in future. We remind ourselves. This type of crimes, the file is never closed. So the investigation continues, but I wouldn't hold any hope for any other criminal to be prosecuted. What I expect for the politicians is not to encourage, directly or indirectly, the elements in the society, whatever religion they may be, to commit acts of violence and terrorism. They should not participate in events where terrorism and violence is glorified. By doing that, they are inviting terrorism to Canada. As I said, I wouldn't hold my hopes very high after 39 years. And the law is the law, it takes its course.
And I'm here on behalf of our Conservative Party of Canada and our leader, Pierre Poilievre. Unfortunately, Mr. Poilievre couldn't attend today, but he asked me to share a message on his behalf. On behalf of Canada's Conservatives, I offer my sincere condolences to the Air India Flight 182 Victims' Families Association as you commemorate 39 years since this horrific tragedy that claimed the lives of all your loved ones. On this tragic anniversary, please know that Conservatives are grieving with you and that we stand firmly at your side in the fight against terrorism. Nobody should have to live with the unimaginable pain that terrorism brings upon our society. We must always defend freedom and innocent lives from monsters who traffic in violence, ideology, and whose sole mission is death and destruction. We remain grateful to each of you for leading the way in this fight. With incredible courage, you have used the pain of your shared experience to stand united against the evil that has tried but failed to divide us. Your tireless work over the years has kept the memory of your loved ones alive in the hearts of all Canadians and served as an inspiration to all of us. May the remembrance of all their lives needlessly lost at the hands of terrorism rededicate us to this essential mission. In the days ahead, we will keep working together to fight for freedom over fear, hope over hate, and light over darkness, and bring home a safer and freer Canada for all. I know that the Honourable Pierre Poilievre, a leader of the opposition of Canada, would have loved to have been here, and he sends his deepest regrets. But I will tell you, we as a caucus all stand with you. We will fight continuously to stop terrorism, not just here but around the world. People have the right to live in freedom. So on behalf of Pierre Poilievre, I thank you all for coming today and taking the time to ensure that the lives that we've lost are not lost in our hearts and souls. They're always and will be in our memory. God bless you all. Thank you.
I'm Kalyan Harpalani, and I lost my wife and 2 children in the tragedy. I came to know about a speech which our MP Chandra Arya, he's the MP from Nepean, Ottawa area. He spoke on 18th of June, 5 days ago. And there's a significance, why he spoke on 18th of June, So I'm just going to read this speech he gave in the Parliament. Mr. Speaker, June 23 is National Day of Remembrance for Victims of Terrorism. 39 years back on this day, Air India Flight 182 was blown up mid-air from a bomb planted by Canadian Khalistani extremists. It killed all 329 passengers and crew members and is the largest mass killing in Canadian history. Unfortunately, many Canadians are not aware of this event today. The ideology responsible for this terrorist act is still alive among few people in Canada. Recent celebration of assassination of Hindu Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi by Khalistan supporters, glorifying violence and hate, shows that the dark forces have been energized again and point to the dreadful times ahead. Hindu Canadians are rightfully concerned. I stand in solidarity with the families of the victims of India bombing. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, what happened before that speech or homage by Mr. Chandra Arya, and the whole Parliament had paid homage to Mr. Nijar Hari Singh Nijar. The question I had to ask Canadian government, why these Khalistanis are honored, and they're being allowed to do these referendums about something which is happening. I think we should really speak out a little bit. So, if a referendum is held in France or India by a group of people to see whether there is support for Quebec to separate from Canada, I mean, how will Canadian government feel? So, I don't know. This freedom of speech, it doesn't make any sense, And I know that we need to have freedom of speech, but there should be. I mean, all these temples or gurdwaras are being supported by government. I mean, all the donations are you get 40% back. So, I mean, this gurdwara should be for religion, not for all these political things. Anyway, thank you very much.
Words can't describe what happened and how many people are feeling. So I'll do my best to give you some words. You do have my sympathies that I know sometimes words can only go so far. As you're all aware, the Air India Flight 182 bombing was the greatest terror-related loss of life involving and affecting Canadians in our country's history. It has been 39 years since you experienced the murders of your loved ones in this act of terrorism. On behalf of the RCMP, I would like to offer our deepest sympathies to the victims' families. Our commitment to these families has not changed, and we remain dedicated in offering our support to you while you continue to endure these difficult times. Thank you.
आज हम यहाँ पे जो क्वीन पार्क पे जो मेमोरियल सर्विसेज है, जो एयर इंडिया 182 बॉम्बिंग की जो यहाँ पे मेमोरियल सर्विसेज है, यहाँ पे इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और देखिए, आज से 39 साल पहले 1985 में आज के दिन जो भी यहाँ पे जो टेररिस्ट की घटना हुई थी, जो खालिस्तानी स्पेशली जो उसमें इन्वॉल्व थे खालिस्तानी टेररिस्ट। देखो, टेररिस्ट के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है, चाहे वो कनाडा हो, चाहे इंडिया हो, चाहे किसी भी वर्ल्ड का कोई भी पार्ट हो। सो वी कंडेम दिस एक्ट। और जो कनेडियन गवर्नमेंट है, जो इसको अच्छे तरह से इन्वेस्टिगेट नहीं कर पाई है, और इसके पीछे जो भी लोग हैं, उनको अभी तक के जेल के पीछे नहीं लेके आई है, उनको अभी सलाखों के पीछे नहीं लेके आई है। तो जो भी कनेडियन गवर्नमेंट है, जो करंट गवर्नमेंट है, जो आने वाली गवर्नमेंट है, हम उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, जो भी लोग इनके पीछे थे और जो भी प्रोपेगेंडा यहाँ पे इस कनाडा के अंदर हो रहा है, कनेडियन नीड पीस, वी केम हेयर फॉर पीस। तो हम यहाँ पे जो भी प्रोपेगेंडा होने लग रहा है, हम टोटली कनेडियन से इसके खिलाफ हैं। और यहाँ पे कनाडा के अंदर हेट क्राइम के लिए कोई जगह नहीं है। और जो भी एक्टिविटी, जो भी गवर्नमेंट के जो कुछ एलिमेंट है जो इनको सपोर्ट करने लग रहे हैं, हम उनको कहते हैं कि भी उनको ये चीज़ें बंद करनी पड़े। और जो भी जो गवर्नमेंट है, जो गवर्नमेंट के अंदर के जो पार्ट है, जो गवर्नमेंट के सपोर्टर्स हैं, उनके लिए उनके लिए एक सेम की बात है कि वो एक कनेडियन जस्टिस सिस्टम में होते हुए और जो इस तरह के जो एजेंडाज हैं उनको सपोर्ट करते हैं। तो टोटली मेरी तरफ से जो 329 जो विक्टिम्स ऑफ टेररिस्ट हैं, जो आज के दिन 1985 में हुए थे, उनको मैं एक श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। और हम उनके साथ हैं, हम लोगों के साथ हैं, उनकी फैमिली के साथ हैं। थैंक यू।
Namaste, Jai Shri Ram. It's a very sad day that I'm here for the first time under this tree. And the plaque, the stone plaque to commemorate and remember the death of innocent lives, 329 on Air India flight in KANISHKA. It's a very sad day for us, but at the same time it's very disturbed to see the Khalistani outpost trying to claim that the Indian government was party to bringing down its own plane. How absurd! Who are the people? I mean, there are people, it seems, in the Canadian government who are willing to listen to this type of unbelievable garbage. So it's very shocking to see these people here given such a prominent spot and asking for, investigation of the Indian government. But, we cannot allow Khalistani rhetoric to take away from this solemn occasion. My prayers and best wishes to the survivors that they can continue to do well wherever they are, and to know that we are all here to remember their loved ones and to convey our deepest condolences and best wishes. Thank you.
Today we are here to give the tribute to the KANISHKA bombing victims, and it was a horrified act in the aviation history. It's a second horrified. This is heinous crime. These particular kind of the crimes should not be permitted. we are keep the all politics on the aside. Terrorism has a no place, and there is no place for the violence, and there is no place for in this world to be anybody get killed, innocent peoples get killed by just for the political motives. We have to be grow up, we have to be stand together for all these Canadians and all across the world, and there should not be any kind of such kind of the heinous crime should not be happen again. So I appeal to everyone, bring a peace in the world. All the world is already in the full of the wars, and every single place there is something is happening. We should be grow up. We have to be put our politics and the ego on the aside, so that we have to be bring the peace in the world. Thank you so much.
ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਆਦਾਬ, ਨਮਸਕਾਰ। ਸੋ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ 39 ਈਅਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 23 ਜੂਨ 1985 ਨੂੰ 329 ਲੋਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੈਨੇਡੀਅਨ ਭੰਗ ਦੇ ਪਹਾੜੇ ਜਾਨ ਗਵਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਦੇ ਫੁੱਲ ਭੇਂਟ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ। ਇਹ ਹਾਦਸਾ ਜੋ ਹੋਇਆ ਬਹੁਤ ਮਾੜਾ ਹੈ, ਇਨਸਾਨੀਅਤ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਵਧੀਆ ਪੈਗਾਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। तो मैं इसकी निंदा करदा, इस तरह के हादसे नहीं होने चाहिए। तो मैं एक शेर लिखा, वो तुहाडे नाल अर्जी कर रहा। जून जोगियां नूं क्यों मारदा ए, जे मोया नूं नी जगाउण जोगा, घर आए फकीर नूं क्यों झिड़कदा ए, जे पल्लियों खैर नहीं पाउण जोगा, मुहम्मद बूटिया क्यों बदियां ते लक बद्दा, जे नेकियां नहीं कमाउण जोगा, जे नेकियां नहीं कमाउण जोगा। बाकी जिन्ने भी लोग आए ने अज उन्हां दा बहुत बहुत धन्नवाद। सो सारे मीडिया दा भी बहुत बहुत धन्नवाद। सत श्री अकाल।
So we're here on the 39th anniversary of the Air India bombing, which was perpetrated by the Babar Khalsa, a Khalistani terrorist organization, the worst terrorist attack in Canadian history. 280 of our people died, 329 innocent people in general. And the Khalistanis came to try and intimidate us, to try and say that, oh, they would bring their conspiracy nonsense, that India really did the Air India bombing, while praising the real perpetrators, Surinder Parmar and his group. It's shameful, it's disgusting. But one of the good things is I'm really proud a lot of my Jewish friends came out in support of the Hindu community, the Sikh community, every community that was affected by terrorism. We get it. And we say we are Canadian Jews and we're against Khalistani terrorism. We're against all types of terrorism, but especially today, June 23rd, we say no to Khalistan. Khalistan is the enemy of Canada. It murders our people, and we will not let them hijack this memorial service. We are stronger together. We stand for peace. We stand for Canada. And we stand for human rights. And down with Khalistan, long live human rights and everyone who's opposed to terrorism.
एयर इंडिया बॉम्बिंग के जो लोग मर्डर हुए थे उनको श्रद्धांजलि देने आया हूँ, और ये देख के कि इतने सारे लोग यहाँ पे एकत्रित हुए हैं बहुत अच्छी बात है। परंतु ये ज़रूरी है कि हम उस बात को ना भुलाएं इस तरीके से कि आज भी जो फिर से खालिस्तानी एक्सट्रीमिज़म इन कनाडा में डेवलप हो रहा है, उसको फेस करने के लिए हमें तैयार होना होगा। जो घटनाएं हुई है वो फिर से हो सकती है अगर हम सावधान न रहें। इसलिए ये ज़रूरी है कि किसी भी तरीके से किसी भी तरह की वायलेंट एक्टिविटी को सहयोग ना दिया जाए, और इस तरह के लोगों को अगर पाया जा रहा है तो उन्हें दूर किया जाए। चाहे वो हमारे गुरुद्वारों में घुसे हों, चाहे वो कहीं पे भी व्यक्ति घुसे हों और इस तरह के रेफरेंडम या हर तरह की बातों को फैला रहे हैं जिससे एक्सट्रीमिज्म बढ़ सकता है, उसको रोकने की कोशिश सदैव कायम रहनी चाहिए, और इसके लिए हम आम सिटीजन्स को हमेशा तैयार रहने चाहिए।
Namaste, Naresh Chavda from Toronto, Canada. Today is the 39th anniversary of Air India bombing happened, which is the worst terrorist attack in Canadian history and second worst in the world history. So this is the time we need to solidify our Canadian values against this kind of terrorist activity. It's a Khalistan generated terrorist attack happened, which in this Air India strike, all kind of Canadians and world human being from all religions, they sacrifice their life because of this terrorist attack. So I request all Canadian and good human being to solidarize against this kind of terrorist activity anywhere in the world, in Canada, and this kind of organizations we're supposed to come out from take out from the mainstream this kind of organization would do this kind of terrorist activity. Thank you.
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੁਈਨਸ ਪਾਰਕ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ 'ਚ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਏਅਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੀ ਬੋmbਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਐਨਵਰਸਰੀ ਉੱਤੇ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਿਰਦੋਸ਼ ਜਾਨਾਂ ਗਈਆਂ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਸੀਗੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਮੁਸਲਮਾਨ ਸੀਗੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੀਗੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਈਸਾਈ ਸੀਗੇ, ਕੁਛ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚ ਕੋਰੀਅਨ ਸੀਗੇ, ਕੁਛ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਸੀਗੇ, ਕੁਛ ਅਮਰੀਕਨ ਹੋਣਗੇ, ਕੁਛ ਇੰਡੀਅਨਸ ਵੀ ਸੀਗੇ। ਜਾਨ ਗਵਾਣੀ ਹਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੁਖਦਾਈ ਮੰਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਉਹਦੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਾਸਤੇ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੰਡੈਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਟੈਰਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਅਟੈਕ ਨੂੰ। ਤੇ ਟੈਰਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਵਰਲਡ 'ਚ, ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਧਰਮ ਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਉਹਦੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਬ੍ਰੇਨ ਵਾਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਮੋਟਿਵਸ ਜਾਂ ਇਕਨੋਮਿਕ ਮੋਟਿਵ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਡੈਮ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੋ ਐਕਸਟ੍ਰੀਮਿਜ਼ਮ ਤੋਂ, ਟੈਰਰਿਜ਼ਮ ਤੋਂ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
I'm here to pay homage to the victims of terrorism for the flight AI 182 that led to death of 329 people on board, out of which I think about 280 were Canadians, and I stand in solidarity with them, and I feel this hate and division in Canada should stop. We should support one Canada. India is a growing economy, and Canada should be allies with India, and that's my message short.
जय माता दी। हम सभी यहाँ वैष्णो देवी मंदिर की तरफ से यहाँ पर रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, और आज का ये दिन जो है दुर्भाग्यशाली दिन है कनाडा के इतिहास में, हिंदुस्तान के इतिहास में, पूरे विश्व के इतिहास में, कि खालिस्तान ने जिस टेररिज्म को जो अंजाम दिया था आज के दिन में, उसकी 39वीं बरसी हम मना रहे हैं। हम वैष्णो देवी मंदिर की तरफ से सारे लोग इसको कंडेम करते हैं, और केशव अग्निहोत्री जी, स्नेहल जी, राजीव जी और अजय जी सारे लोग यहाँ पर मौजूद हैं।
जैसा अरविंद जी ने बताया, आज हम सब लोग यहाँ जो एयर इंडिया बॉम्बिंग में 1985 में जो लोग मार दिए गए थे, उनको श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करने के लिए आए हैं। 10-10 साल के बच्चे मारे गए, पूरी की पूरी फैमिलीज वाइप आउट हो गई। हम उन सबको श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए आए थे, और बड़े दुख की बात है कि जो टेररिज्म जिसकी वजह से वो ट्रेजेडी हुई, वो कनाडा में फल फूल रहा है, और कनाडा जो है उसको फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच और दूसरी चीज़ों के नाम पर बिल्कुल भी कर्व करने के लिए तैयार नहीं है। हम ये उम्मीद करते हैं कि आने वाले समय में सब लोग सौहार्द बनाएंगे, इस मेंटालिटी को जो सेपरेटिस्ट है या टेररिस्टिक एटीट्यूड है उसको ना फले फूले, इसका ध्यान रखेंगे। और हम सब पीस चाहते हैं। कुछ थोड़े से लोग एक झंडे लेकर के अगर अपने आप को बहुत ज़्यादा शो करें, तो वो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि सब उनके साथ हैं। और अगर हिंदू कम्युनिटी पीसफुल है, और वो पीसफुलनेस कोई वीकनेस नहीं है, वो एक कैनेडियन वैल्यू है। हम लोग चाहते हैं कि सभी लोग पीसफुल हों, हमारे सभी भाई बंद हैं, किसी से हमारा वैर नहीं है, लेकिन हम शांति प्रिय हैं और शांति चाहते हैं।
The Jewish community is proud and honored to be involved in this wonderful rally to support our Indian brothers and sisters and the wonderful country of India. Namaste, India Jai.